Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
There he is. Just
Here I
hammer
am.
fisting away. What's going on, man?
Hello.
Hello.
It's going. It's going.
Welcome to Trekcast, everybody.
Yes. Welcome to Trekcast. We are missing somebody.
We are. Yes. Dan is on assignment this week.
Yes, he's on a special mission that's classified.
Right. Yes. Very classified. Top secret. Yes.
Top secret.
Let's just make it even scarier sounding just every time we talk about it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a Section 31 thing. So
that's right. Section 31 and a half.
Yeah. Only we know about it, and Captain Sisko has clearance, that special clearance. So Yep.
That's right. But how you doing, man?
I'm a little tired. Like I was telling you. Before we started recording, had a power outage last night. We got some crazy wind going on in the Midwest, and about midnight, power went out. And we got a lot of camping supplies. We got power outage supplies. So we got lights and stuff like that, and things to charge the phones. But it's still annoying, and the dog's freaking out because the smoke detectors are beeping, and so it's just a lot of rigmarole. And so we got power back on about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So
people are saying they know the mission Dan is on to rescue Chad from the basement.
Well, I can't really talk about it that much, but
I mean the power went out.
He ain't got that much clearance.
Yeah, I was gonna say the power went out, just as a rescue mission might do.
Honey, we need to check the basement.
Just saying.
Computer, check the status of holding cell number 1. Okay. Well,
wait, how many holding cells do you have?
Well, number 1's the main one, so I've got one. I've already said too much. I can't tell you more. Oh, we have battery backups for the power for the force field generators in the holding cell.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
Jeez.
So we had the power came back on. We had they had to realign the EPS conduits, and
right, of course,
and the phase they had to reinstall the phase inducers. So, but we're finally going. We're finally good. So. Yeah. How was your weekend?
Oh, jeez. Better than that. I went over to my sister's house last night and played board games with her family, the kids and her husband and her, and it was
a great time, isn't it?
Yeah. I got the kids some of their favorite snacks, and they were all excited.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So, what are we doing today? What's going on?
So, I thought we've been talking a lot about Paramount, right? So I figured, why not? Let's review the Kelvin universe films, right?
Yeah.
For the next 3 episodes. So we're going to start with the first film, the 2009 Star Trek. Yep, that's the one.
Star Trek.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about that. We're going to give our thoughts. It's been a while. I also thought it was kind of interesting in now with the perspective of what we've had with new Star Trek. Comparatively, yeah. there's definitely some things to take away, especially with it's a lot of the same people behind the 2009 Star Trek and new current Star Trek. So
Yes. Kurtzman.
that's kind of interesting. So
Yep. Yep.
Jasmine says daylight saving sucks. Yeah.
I'm people ask me all the time. Some people, they're like, oh man, how does daylight savings time affect you? And I'm like, about 6 hours after I get up that following Sunday, I forget about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really bother me. An hour difference, I can't tell.
Right. Yeah. I'm the same way. It doesn't really bother me one way or the other.
But
well, should we start with the news?
Yeah, yes, please do.
Let's get to it.
Star Trek news.
So our first news story, because I did mention Paramount, so we've got to play the stinger. The circus continues. We have some more developments now in the Paramount buyout case or deal that's going on right now, and it is getting to be quite the drawn out process, and will be even more drawn out because now there's a lawsuit, baby.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So what's been the holdup lately, apparently, is another competitive bid has come. So Skydance Media is offering $8 billion to purchase Paramount, right? But this other investment group called Project Rise and their partners have given a bid of $13.5 billion. 13.5 is far more than 8. And
Hold
so
on,
now,
let me do that calculation. 13.5 minus.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yes. The scientists say it checks out.
It's much gooder money.
It's much gooder money. Yes. And so now they're fighting over, does Project Rise really have the financing for this? So that is what Skydance is alleging, that it's made up, that they don't have the money really, not nearly as much as they say they do. And so it's not a legitimate bid. And so now they're fighting it in court.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. How long will that take? I don't know. Probably not really that long because it's just figuring out the financing. But it's in court right now, which, as you know, the legal system moves so fast.
I mean, it's gonna be next year before we get
right.
There could be, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with that, and we like to track what's going on with Paramount. So there you
Absolutely.
go. More delays.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Yes, more delays. Our next news story comes to us from what is this? iFilm. Yeah. /film.com. And it's kind of funny. I found this story and I thought it was interesting, but basically Anson Mount made Kevin Feige cry. Kevin Feige is who runs the MCU.
Yeah.
And so basically what had happened was when Anson Mount, spoilers if you haven't seen Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, but Anson Mount is in that movie. He plays Black Bolt.
Yes.
And he had played Black Bolt in a very badly received Inhuman show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why he played the character.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. He was in that show.
I forgot about it because I haven't seen it.
Right. This was before Strange New Worlds. Anyways, so when they brought him back for Doctor Strange, he got to meet with Kevin Feige. They talked a while, and he learned that Kevin Feige was a major Trekkie. And at the time, still, Anson Mount is the captain of the Enterprise, right? So in between their meetings, Anson Mount went to the props department at Paramount, and he's like, hey, can we do something special for Kevin Feige? And so they made him like a plaque and a patch, and made him an honorary lieutenant commander of the USS Enterprise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Kevin Feige was very touched by this, and it's framed up and it looks really good apparently. And Kevin Feige said that he cried when he opened the gift. He was so excited. Yeah, he's a major Trekkie. I remember when Endgame came out, they talked about how that was based off the series finale of TNG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So that
Going
that
back
was
and
kind
forth in time, and that's,
yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. You know, we're all nerdy here, so I know we like the Marvel films, so
Oh,
I figured I'd bring
absolutely.
that up.
Absolutely. I'll watch every one of them.
Yeah. And then
Even the bad ones.
yeah, same. Except I have not seen what's that one? Craven the Hunter. I just no
Okay.
interest.
I haven't seen that one either. So
Yeah, fair enough. And then our last news story comes to us from StarTrek.com. And I know we kind of mentioned this last episode, but I thought I would just bring it up for real for you guys. Nacelle has opened up pre-sales of their upcoming Star Trek action figure line. So we did that interview a while back with the
Yep.
CEO of Nacelle. These are the 1/12 scale figures, about like 6 to 7 inches, depending on the character. But they are now for sale, or the pre-releases pre-release sales are going right now. You can go to Nacelle shop, NacellStore.com and get them. They are running about like $29.
okay.
There's even a bundle where you can get all the figures in one, like the first wave.
Right.
Yeah. But let me see if I go
Maybe
to
I'll snag one up so we can do a review.
yeah. So okay, cool. Decline. So here we are looking at the Nacelle store. That's kind of them all put together. I like my Tuvix just chilling, trying to live his best life. Poor
Right.
man. Yeah.
Right.
But we also got to look at the packaging. So there you go. You can get the first wave for $225. Each figure is about $29. But I kind of like this packaging.
Yeah. And packaging's kind of important.
Yeah.
Because
some of us don't open them.
Right. It's a display,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
How you hang them on the wall or on the shelf or whatever,
Oh, hi, Trek reviewer. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Trek reviewer?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and as you can see, there's like a lot of accessories, just like they said there would be.
It came
Tuvix
with an
got two
orchid.
faces. Yeah.
Tuvix
He's
comes with a flowering orchid and apparently 2 different faces.
That's right. The orchid is the one that binded him with Neelix and Tuvok.
Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
like he comes with a phaser and a tricorder.
Yep. And a little container. That blue thing is a little container.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one of my favorite ones, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. Valkyris comes with the Genesis device.
Oh, okay. So for those who don't know, Valkyris is the female. She was the one that was subordinate to Christopher Doc Brown's Klingon character in Star Trek 3.
Right.
So she was the one that not so nobly had to sacrifice herself because she knew too much.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, the Genesis device is cool.
And she's got a batleth.
Yeah.
I
couldn't care less about her character, but
I know the accessories of this one is pretty cool.
And she's got a decent Klingon boob window.
Yeah, a little bit. But the other great one is Jellicoe.
Oh gosh.
Who comes with Livingston's little bowl.
Oh, Livingston's bowl.
Yeah.
One more thing. Get that fish out of the ready room.
That's right. And it's empty. The fish is gone.
Do you know why he had that line?
Because they wanted to get rid of it for real.
They wanted to get rid of it. Yep. And it never came back after that.
Yeah.
I would use that character as target practice with my Daisy Red Rider.
Oh, really?
I mean, is there any? I don't like Jellicoe. Nobody likes Jellicoe.
Oh, I love Jellicoe.
He, to be fair, he was exactly what a Starfleet officer would be in real life.
Right.
I mean, I've served with, I've known a dozen lieutenant colonels exactly like him, and he was exactly right in just about everything he did. I still can't stand the guy.
Right.
So
I also like that he comes with the Captain Picard Day drawings. That's one of
Oh,
the accessories. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I think they're taking characters that okay, we want to make a Jellicoe, and that's what they're saying. Okay, but nobody's going to want to buy Jellicoe. So what do we put him with? What accessories can we give him
Right.
that'll make people
Right.
want to buy Jellicoe? Like,
Right.
I'll buy it just for the empty Livingston fish container.
Yeah. Jasmine, he's my favorite.
Get out of here, Chazbiz. You're
Bronson,
done.
he's a great actor. Yeah.
Oh, he is a great actor. I
Yeah.
loved him in RoboCop.
Yeah. So you can go to NacelleStore.com and they've got all sorts of stuff. The Wayun is pretty great too. So
What accessories? Oh, he comes with a Ketracel white container.
yeah. And I think that's half a pizza. I don't know what.
I think you're right. I think that's half a pizza. That's a
I think it's like the Hosferot or whatever that.
no. If that is pizza, that's a reference to the episode where he decides to defect and tells Odo all of the secrets.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then he sacrifices himself at the end of the episode so that Odo will be safe.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I remember that episode, but I don't remember him having a pizza. But
he samples like one of everything from the replicator. He takes a slice of pizza.
Right.
He takes the pepperoni, takes a bite of the pepperoni, and says, "That was filling." And Odo's like, "Well, it should be. You sampled everything from the replicator's menu."
Replicator. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, the toys are for sale or pre-sale. So
I might, maybe I'll buy one, and maybe we can do a little review on the show.
Yeah. That would be great. But yeah, so that's what's going on.
All right.
Any other news stories that you want to bring up, or you got okay?
No,
Well,
power outage in the Midwest.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the main topic.
Fun will now commence.
I'm getting reports in that it was Red Squad that affected the power grid.
Oh
So,
no!
Yeah, we've
done it before too.
Yeah, we'll have more on that later.
Yes,
So.
more on that later. News at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so our main topic, we are reviewing 2009 Star Trek, what used to be called New Trek before.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And now no longer New Trek, the Kelvin universe. When was the last time you seen this movie before we reviewed it?
It's been a couple years.
Yeah.
I've watched, clips over the last couple years of some of my favorite scenes. I watched it again last night. I watched the director's commentary.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was interesting. The director's commentary is with let me pull it up here. The director, J.J. Abrams, and producers Brian Burke and Damon
Lindelof, yeah,
and Alex Kurtzman and Roberto. How do you pronounce his last name?
Orsi?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was with the five of them. If you haven't seen the commentary, I suggest you check it out. There's a lot of cool insights of behind the scenes stuff. They talked a lot about they talked a lot about Spock and Leonard Nimoy and just getting the different cast members together. They talked about how some names were like Kelvin. Where did Kelvin come from? That's J.J. Abrams' grandfather's name.
Right. Yeah. We should probably say spoilers if you have not seen this movie, but if you're watching this show,
I was gonna say,
yeah, it's the internet, man. People get mad for the dumbest reasons.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
So, anyways, so the movie came out in 2009. It was released by Paramount. Came out April 7th, 2009. It had a budget of $150 million and had a box office of $385 million. So it made money.
Yes, it did.
It was the first Star Trek film in a long time at that point with the complete reboot. It brought in that new Kelvin universe as opposed to the Prime universe, which looking back, I think was a smart move.
Yep.
It basically rebooted TOS, the original series. We had a new Kirk, a new Spock, all new characters for everybody. Yeah. Chris Pine was brought in as Kirk, Carl Urban for Bones, and Zachary Quinto for Spock. Yeah.
Yeah, great cast. Simon Pegg as Scotty. They said in the commentary that was the only person that they considered for Scotty. Eric Bana as Nero, almost an unrecognizable Eric Bana. The makeup department did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk a little bit about comparing and contrasting the two Christopher Pikes that we've seen recently.
I wanted to do that too. Yeah.
Bruce Greenwood.
Yeah. Also, we had I think his first film role for Chris Hemsworth.
Yep. It was also Zachary Quinto's first feature film role. He had done.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he'd done some television. Most recently, he had done Heroes.
Okay. Yes, I remember that.
Yep. So
he was Siler in Heroes.
He was Siler in Heroes.
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana as Uhura.
Now Academy Award-winning actress Zoe Saldana.
Yes. Yeah. John Cho as Sulu. Now, John Cho is a Korean American,
right,
playing a Japanese American character, and he felt he didn't feel like he should take on that role because he felt it was a Japanese American character, and it was actually the original Sulu himself who convinced him. You should. George Takei actually told him, you should pursue this because Sulu, George Takei said, represents all of Asian Americans.
Oh, that's cool.
Asia. Yeah, so he was convinced. And then, of course, the late Anton Yelchin as Chekhov, who played the role. I just loved his character in this.
Good, perfect, plucky, young. What do they say? He's a 17-year-old genius.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, kid. How old are you? 17, sir. Oh, perfect. He's 17.
I love it. It's a great bad accent.
Yeah, he's like, there's that one scene where he has to do the shipwide announcement. He's trying to enter his personal code.
Yeah.
95 Victor 2. Authorization not recognized. Authorization not recognized. That voice was done by the late Majel Barrett, who recorded her lines from home 2 weeks before she passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was her last Star Trek outing.
Well, let me bring up the Rotten Tomatoes score because I thought this was interesting. Because I remember at the time, people, Trekkies were not happy with it.
Right. It was a very divisive movie.
Yeah. They said it was not their Star Trek. But the Rotten Tomatoes scores, critics gave it a 94% and fans gave it a 91%. So, people liked it.
Yeah.
I know people to this day who don't watch Star Trek, but like this movie.
I wonder if those scores have changed since it came out in 2009.
I would imagine so.
I bet the audience score has gone up.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the things too is that the Kelvin time, at first we thought that it was completely redoing the timeline, and then they got some backlash, and then we found out, well, it didn't really erase the previous timeline. It diverged the timeline. Right. So now you have the Kelvin timeline and you have the Prime timeline, and they've referenced each other in both timelines. We've seen evidence of the Prime timeline, or at least elements of what we see in the Prime timeline in the JJ films.
Right.
With Section 31, and we've seen Enterprise era.
We had Spock. Spock showed up.
And Spock showed up. In fact, we even saw Spock. What's that?
Original recipe Spock.
Original, yes, the original recipe, all original 9 flavors.
That's right.
Herbs and spices. And then they have referenced the Prime, or the what the events in the Kelvin timeline, with Romulus being destroyed and things like that in Picard. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. What Who else we got? We got a couple other notable actors and actresses. Ben Cross as Sarek.
Oh
he did
yeah.
a fantastic job. One of my favorite actresses, Winona Ryder as Amanda, Spock's mother.
That's right.
And I thought there was a deleted scene. There was actually a scene involving Spock's birth that was deleted. That's on the DVD special features.
Oh really? Okay.
But I understand the way they did it because Spock is older than Kirk in canon. So the way that they filmed it and the way that they wanted to sort of do it, they didn't want people to think that Kirk was born first and then Spock. But I thought the way that they edited it together was actually really, really well.
Yeah.
Really good. Jennifer Morrison as Kirk's mother.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Very brief, but I thought very good performance.
She did a great job.
Yep. And yeah, you mentioned earlier Chris Hemsworth.
Yep.
That scene at the beginning of the movie, I remember. If I may, I'd like to tell a real quick story about the first time I saw the film. So the film came out in spring of 2009, and at the time I was overseas in Iraq, and I actually tried to get my leave, my 2-week leave, to coincide with the film, and I missed it. So they played it. There was an advanced copy that was sent to the MWR over there, Morale, Wellness, and Recreation Center. And so we got a DVD copy of the movie when it was still in theaters, and we played it on this 25-inch, 32-inch TV at the MWR. And I just remember it was like 30 of us gathered around this TV with me sitting in the center, because everybody knew I was the biggest Star Trek fan on both, by far. And so everybody was like, yeah, we're going to go watch Scott watch this movie.
Okay.
So I got to watch it in Iraq while it was still in theaters on TV. So that was really cool. But I remember the scene where George Kirk sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
Just everything about that scene was, I thought, amazing. I don't think there was a dry eye in the house.
Yeah, it was a great scene.
The way they put that together with the music and everything was just outstanding.
According to Wikipedia, Matt Damon was considered for George Kirk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I heard there was a rumor floating around a long time ago, like back in the early 2000s, of Matt Damon playing Jim Kirk. And he actually called J.J. Abrams and said, is there any truth to this rumor? And J.J. Abrams told him, you're a little too old for the Kirk we want.
Doing. Yeah.
So
that's
I
interesting.
think Matt Damon would have made a great Kirk back in 2000.
Yeah. But could you imagine him showing up as George Kirk in the beginning of that movie? All of a sudden, Matt Damon's there.
Right. Yeah. And Chris Hemsworth, I can't believe that guy is the same guy that played Thor.
Right? He looks like a normal guy there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Now he's just like a monster, just
right.
Giant. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, what's really weird is I remember at the time, when the movie came out and I saw it in theaters, I remember looking at George Kirk and then thinking, is that the new Kirk? Because to me, he looks so much like Chris Pine at the time.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, they mentioned that in the commentary. That they were kind of trying to do a little bait and switch on you. They were trying to trick you up a little bit. You're now the captain, Mr. Kirk, is what the captain said. And they kind of wanted to confuse you a little bit. And because they do in the movie, they kind of look alike.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I guess they were going for that. Also family resemblance, that kind of thing. But at the time, now they're completely different. I can tell them apart. But,
very much so.
Yeah, but the fact that Chris Hemsworth, was a no-name actor, so I didn't really know his face. That got me. So I guess we should kind of go over the premise of the film. Basically, There in the Prime universe, there is going to be a cataclysmic event where a star will go supernova and destroy Romulus. And so to try to save it, Spock comes up with this special ship full of red matter, which we never explain what the red matter is somehow going to save that star or stop the star from exploding because it'll create a singularity, a black hole, and eat up the star, and that'll save Romulus. It doesn't work out, and Nero, being a Romulan, gets really pissed and goes to chase Spock, and they go through that black hole and into the Kelvin timeline. And so that's what starts our new timeline. And from there, Nero is just on a rampage. And so they got to stop him. It's interesting that they take out 2 planets, Romulus and Vulcan in the Kelvin timeline, Romulus in the Prime. That was later played on in Picard season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the destruction of Romulus. So that's interesting. It carried over. Film was written by Alex Kurtzman, and Roberto Orisi, or I forget how to pronounce it. But yeah, they wrote the script. It's so different compared to like Discovery, or you can see a little bit of the Strange New Worlds DNA in it. A little bit.
Yeah.
You get that vibe. But yeah, especially compared to Discovery, it's vastly different.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of people have said it's Star Trek meets like a Apple Store.
Yeah, because of the Enterprise. The Enterprise looks very Apple Store-like.
Yep.
It's very clean, very bright. The engineering looked like a factory, just series of tubes, and
it was the one with the giant vats, the giant silver vats. That was actually filmed in a Budweiser factory.
Oh,
those
that's
vats
funny.
Are full of beer.
Nice.
Cerveza.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's funny. Yeah, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, what the hell are all these tubes for?
Warp plasma coolant, I guess.
It's just got to go everywhere.
The scene where they beam where Scotty and Kirk beam onto the ship, the transwarp beaming, and Scotty ends up in one of the tubes. It's like, boy, I hope that's just water.
Yeah.
Because if that's warp plasma coolant, then he'd be dead in 1 second.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or very drunk.
And I like that they had like the escape valve near the death machine as he was about to.
Yeah, near the blender device.
Yeah.
Because every Starship has a warp plasma conduit blender.
Yeah. Does the engine room look cheap? I didn't think so. I didn't think
that was the most expensive engine room in the history of the planet.
Yes. I remember when it came out, people were mad about the redesign of the Enterprise, that it looked too bulky. Honestly, I think it looks great.
Well, there's another explanation for this. The Enterprise is much, much larger in this universe than in the Prime universe, and there's an explanation for that. Starfleet, because of what happened to the Kelvin, started designing larger, more powerful ships.
Right.
And so that's why this Enterprise is larger than the Prime Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So
there are a few plot holes throughout it. Throughout the script. Just a few. Yeah. One big one is the Nero attacks and then is just nowhere for 25 years and then pops back up. There were deleted scenes that he was captured by the Klingons and broke out of prison. They kind of touch on that with Uhura mentioning that she picked up some distress calls from Klingon sources.
Yeah.
But that's about it. One thing I thought that was a plot hole that I haven't seen anyone discuss though was every time Nero's ship pops up, that black hole, the lightning storm in space, also follows it. Like that shows up, and then Nero's ship comes out of it, right? Like, that
should only happen the first time when he
right. But every time his ship pops up, that happens. So, Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I never thought about that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one that I thought was a little bit weird is as Spock. So later they meet Leonard Nimoy Spock, right? And
Mhm.
he's not telling, he's doing a mind meld with Kirk, but they're telling the story. They're letting you know why he's there, right? And one of the things he mentions is we created the fastest ship to go and take care of the protostar, the star blowing up.
Right.
But then he says, but I got there too late. So the fastest ship wasn't fast enough.
Apparently not.
Yeah, yeah. That I thought was
Apparently not.
funny. And then in that scene when he's preparing the red matter, it's like he runs over, he goes like there's this giant red ball. They inject it with something and pull out some of the red matter, and then they put that into some sort of
With the
device.
number 8 hypodermic needle.
Yeah, to shoot
Stainless
it.
steel.
Right. But it's like, okay, you're in the fastest ship ever. Why didn't you prep the red matter on your way and just have it locked and ready to go? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a reason like you can't break that force until it's time? Like, does that substance automatically start to decay when it's out? And so you need to keep it maintained for as long as possible. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. The red matter thing was completely out of left field.
Yeah. It was just a thing they made up, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they didn't go with something that we understood, antimatter or some sort of, subspace antimatter sort of device but
Yeah.
that would have made sense to Star Trek fans.
Right. They could have said our top engineer, Miles O'Brien, created this thing. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Did you have anything else before we?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. There is a ton. If you want to go into IMDb, there is a ton of trivia and nitpicks for this movie. People love to bash this movie. People love to give different their different perspectives on this movie, and there are a ton of trivia items. Just a couple that I highlighted. The first time that Zachary Quinto met Leonard Nimoy at Comic-Con, Nimoy pulled him aside and said, "You have no idea what you've gotten yourself into."
That's awesome.
Yeah. Everybody, all the original cast seemed to be very supportive of the new cast. Even William Shatner sent Chris Pine a letter saying, good job, Ford. Alex Kurtzman, J.J. Abrams, and Roberto Orci,
yeah.
All personally called Leonard Nimoy, and Leonard Nimoy, basically had to think about it. Do I want to do this role again that I said goodbye to in Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country?
Yeah.
He had not done a Star Trek movie since '91.
Right.
And he had said goodbye to the character.
Nearly 20 years.
Yeah, and he did Star Trek: The Next Generation. He did Unification 1 and 2. It's about the same time as but his wife convinced him. Yeah, they looked at the script and his wife convinced him. Yeah, this is a story worthy of bringing back Leonard Nimoy one last time.
Yeah,
or what we thought was one last time. So, yeah. Oh, Zachary Quinto too. Zachary Quinto could not do the Vulcan salute with his right hand.
Oh, really?
And at the end of the film, he had to have his fingers glued together in order to do the Vulcan salute. You can kind of see
that's
it.
Hilarious.
Like you can kind of see his fingers sort of like.
Yeah.
Because when he, usually when you do the Vulcan salute and you're done, you kind of separate your fingers. Yeah, when he's done, he just kind of goes like this.
Yeah.
So, can you do it? I can do it with both hands.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it with both hands. Yeah.
So where were we in the synopsis?
So basically what ends up happening is Nero captures Pike, and then it becomes that Spock is the captain because he's the first officer, and Spock and Kirk don't get along because they don't know each other, and from there Kirk is marooned on a ice planet where he meets.
Yeah, they get in a
original
fight,
recipes.
and he's like, "Skip the brig, kick his ass off the ship."
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to
okay.
deal with him.
Hey, see that Class L planet down there? Yeah, just
Yeah,
knock his ass.
yeah. Well, they specifically say it's a Class M planet, which doesn't look Class M to me. It's very frozen over, full of Cloverfield monsters. But
Cloverfield
Yeah.
monsters.
full of Cloverfield monsters. But they somehow, they meet original recipe Spock, and from there they meet Scotty, and Spock goes, "Oh, here's because they need to transport it back onto the Enterprise, but the Enterprise is traveling at warp speed, and it's getting further away, and it's not possible, from the distance that they're at." But Spock's like, "No, no, no! You created this formula that allows us to transport, while in warp," and basically shows him this invention that he created in the other universe. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so they get on the Enterprise. From there, they have to show that Zachary Quinto Spock is
I'm going to
emotionally
reset my internet.
compromised.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. They have to show that Zachary Quinto is emotionally compromised, which they end up doing. And then from there, here, we'll just do that. Okay. So they show that he's emotionally compromised. Kirk takes over the Enterprise as captain because he had been made first officer from Pike. And from there, they decide to, instead of regrouping with the Starfleet Armada, they are going to straight on take on Nero, because Nero is threatening Earth. Nero had already blown up Vulcan, and he was on his way to do the same thing to Earth. I thought it was a great finale. Kirk and Spock end up going on Nero's ship, and they attack it, and it is a big long fight with all these giant platforms. There he is. Yes.
There I am.
So I'm just getting to the finale. They're jumping around on the ship, which clearly has no OSHA regulations, no
None.
no safety handles, no ladders, no just
Yeah.
platforms. Just you could
People
fall off at
falling
any
all
minute.
over the place.
Yeah. A lot of guns for a mining vessel, which was interesting.
A lot of guns. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of really angry miners. So
Yeah, and I like how they don't do this with the Romulans that often, but Romulans are an offshoot of Vulcans, and Romulans are 3 times as strong as humans.
yeah.
And they're able to manhandle Kirk.
Yeah. I do like that every character had their moment to shine. Like Uhura with figuring out some of the codes, and Sulu with his fencing. Even though that sword was not a fencing sword.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, Uhura. I was gonna say, one of the things that they do on the Delta Flyers podcast is after they review an episode, they talk about the winners and losers of the episode.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about the winners and losers of this episode, and I think the biggest loser of this episode was the con officer, or the communications officer aboard the Enterprise. And Pike is like, I need you to, translate or whatever, blah, 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 Romulan. And he's like, I don't think I can distinguish Romulan from Vulcan.
Mhm.
And Pike looks at Uhura, how about you, Ensign? How about you, Cadet, Ensign, whatever? And she's like, yes, sir. All 3 dialects. Take over for the lieutenant. And the lieutenant's like, dude.
Right.
He's the biggest loser. Uhura is the biggest winner. Actually, the biggest winner in this movie is Kirk, who went from a disgraced cadet
Mhm.
to captain of the Federation flagship in 3 days?
Yeah, something like that.
That's the biggest plot point to me in the entire movie. He went from a cadet to a bona fide commissioned captain
Yeah.
in 3 days.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Starfleet would have been all over that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, good job, kid. Congratulations. We're gonna fast track you to ensign.
Yeah. I do like that Tyler Perry randomly shows up. So we had Tyler Perry Star Trek. Yeah.
They made a big deal about talking about him in the commentary. This was the first non-Tyler Perry thing he's ever been a part of, apparently.
Mhm.
So I don't even know how he got his start in Hollywood if he's never been in anything else.
He's kind of made his own way.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so he was in there. I'm trying to think what else was kind of funny to me. Oh, we were going to talk about the difference between the Pikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a different
Anson Mount.
characterization. Yeah.
I think I love both of them. They
I do
both
too.
bring something, to the table. One's going to punch it, one's going to hit it, and I think
I
Anson
would say
Mount,
Bruce Greensworth is more serious.
yes, I think Anson Mount is a little more whimsical.
Yep. Yeah.
But they both have kind of witty banter.
Yeah.
They both seem extremely capable, extremely competent, smart officers. Bruce Greenwood is great. Yeah, I thought he did a fantastic job in this. I love the scene, even when he's being rescued and he's paralyzed. He sees the Romulans come from around the corner, and he grabs Kirk's phaser and shoots both of them. That was great. The end scene at the movie when Kirk gets command of the Enterprise and he walks over to Pike and he says, "I relieve you, sir," and Pike says, "I am relieved."
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, you could tell that it was both Bruce Greenwood and Pike saying that.
Yeah.
I just, and the facial expressions and everything, just did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think so too. Bronson says Jeffrey Hunter was great also. Yeah.
There was another person that played. Jeffrey Hunter wasn't available there was another episode that Pike was in the chair and the makeup. And, so that was another character altogether.
Yeah.
Another actor.
Right. Comparatively, which style of Pike do you like better?
Boy,
it's tough, right?
That's a tough one. I feel like I enjoy watching Anson Mount's Pike, but I also feel like Bruce Greenwood's was more authentic.
Yeah.
So it was more fun to watch Anson Mount, but Bruce Greenwood seems like he was more Pike-ish.
Yeah.
So,
that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both are fantastic actors, and both have brought, have done good to the character.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It makes me sad that we don't get much more of that Pike.
Yeah.
But still, it's a very great characterization, very well done. I thought Nero was a great villain, especially for an original villain.
Yep.
Bronson says Anson Mount is his favorite Pike. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's not a bad answer. They're both great.
No, they are both great. Yeah. How about redos? Is there anything you would have redone in the movie?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. So I think because I'm so focused on screenwriting right now, typically your main character needs to have an arc, meaning how they change, right? They go from I'm afraid of swimming to now I can swim anytime I want, right?
Right.
Some sort of change, right? Kirk doesn't really go through one. He is the same kind of snotty, smart alecky guy that he was in the beginning, that he is at the end, right? He may have a little bit more confidence behind that, but he really doesn't change. You know,
So much so that, spoiler alert for the next movie, he gets demoted for that very reason. He's too
Right.
cocky and too way overconfident. So he doesn't change. Not only does he not change in this movie, he doesn't change from movie to movie.
Right. He doesn't really have an arc. The one that you could argue that does have an arc, and even then, not really, is Spock.
Spock.
Yeah, Spock more or less has the arc, and he's the only one that does.
Yeah.
None of them have anything else to change, right? That's the one thing. Otherwise, I think it's a great movie, especially looking back at it now. I think it's a lot of fun. Is it the best Star Trek movie? I don't know. I put that question out to a bunch of Star Trek groups, put all the movies on a image, and I said, which one's your favorite, including Section 31. Hands down, there was no clear answer. It was either Wrath of Khan, it was First Contact, or The Voyage Home. Those were the three top ones.
I said in mine, I said it's a toss up between Section 31 and The Final Frontier.
Nice.
My two favorite Star Trek movies actually are The Undiscovered Country and First Contact.
Okay, there you go.
So.
There you go. I think it may be 2009 Star Trek for me.
It's good. It's my favorite JJ.
Yeah.
They did talk about the other thing that they talked about JJ Star Trek was the lens flares.
Yes.
They talked about how they did it, which is basically aiming a flashlight just off camera at the lens.
Right.
They talked about camera shaking, that J.J. Abrams has a very specific way of, he actually goes to the camera and does this. I mean, he's doing that. He's and only he does it. He only trusts like one other director to like shake the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of his thing.
Okay.
What about other changes they made? Like what specifically, what did you think about the out of left field relationship between Uhura and Spock?
Yeah. That was a choice.
People had opinions on that.
Yeah, I remember people were not happy about that.
I think it feels weird now because now we know in the prime timeline we see Uhura on Strange New Worlds, and it's a different dynamic. She is a much less developed character, much less confident character. She's much younger, or at least she appears to be, and so now it would just be like icky.
That's true.
So
it's completely different characterizations too.
I like the Uhura of Strange New Worlds better.
Do you?
Okay. Yeah, and not because of how they decided to portray her. She should be somebody fresh out of the academy, somebody who's not very confident yet, somebody who hasn't had a 5-year mission, who hasn't done all these things. Because the Uhura that we see, say in the Star Trek movies, she's confident because she's done all these things.
Right. Action Saru would fit in this movie. Yes, he would.
Yeah.
100% he would.
100% I can see him popping out.
Yeah. Yeah, how do I feel about that relationship? I don't feel like it was needed. I see why they put it in there, because you needed a reason for Spock to vent his emotions and to have that emotional outlet. But oh no, we lost Scott. I will take him off for now in the meantime. Yeah, you needed that outlet for him to be explaining his feelings, and so having that relationship, someone that he could confide in, let you have that storyline reason to do that. Because otherwise you just have a Vulcan who doesn't want to show emotions, and so you never get that inner depth of what he has going on. So definitely made sense. But as it continues through the series, I guess we'll see how it turns out. I remember not really caring one way or the other, but it just kind of depended on what people thought. Well, since Scott is currently frozen and will hopefully come back soon, in the meantime, let's go to your guys' thoughts on the movie, and we'll go to listener feedback, and then we'll bring Scott back in. So let's go to listener feedback.
Listener feedback.
So if you want to join us, there is Scott. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Like, I think the power outage knocked out some cell towers, and I run this off my cell phone, so I apologize.
For sure. Yeah, it's fine. So I was inviting listener feedback. So let me. Chazbuz is wanting to come on, so let me put that.
I've got some emails too.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So I got one that was a Facebook message. I'll have to see if I can. Did I just lose you?
No, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Oh no, he froze again. Oh no. All right. Well, let's see if he comes back. In the meantime, Chazbuz is there, so I'm going to bring him on, so that way I'm not alone. It's scary on the internet alone.
It's scary on the internet alone, huh?
That's right. What's going on, man?
Not much.
Did you watch the movie in preparation for this?
Well, I didn't know which ones you guys were going to start with, so.
Oh, we'll start with the first one. We're just going to go in order for the next 3 episodes. Yeah.
So you're going to do
Into Darkness next.
Okay, Into Darkness
Beyond
next.
for the last one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll watch those. Well, I've seen this one enough that
I figured. Yeah. All right, Scott's back.
Okay.
Let's bring him back.
To the person who sent me the Facebook Messenger one, I can't look at it, read it at the same time as being on the show. So go ahead and I know you said you forgot the email. My email address is strongbeard1701@gmail.com. Strongbeard1701@gmail.com. Resend that to me at my email address, and I'll read it next week. I do have another one that I got. I think I got this last week during or just after the show, if I can read it.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So this one was Kevin. I can't pronounce your last name. Leung.
Okay.
And he says, I think you guys kind of took a different tact on the Renegades YouTube fan-made movie. Not that the opinion was wrong, just that in context, I think it was good for a Trek-themed show, and the effort made was much better than Section 31. Given Paramount its due ridicule for the shit movie it was, that it was due. They spent 20 times the money and own the IP and have vast resources. The fan-made flick managed to get previous Trek actors and a much better plot and accomplished a lot more for much less. The acting sucked, yes, but you can't pay a guy that gets 3 times that or more and expect the same performance. Skill and income go hand in hand. Just my 2 cents. The movie was crap, but it needed to be said it was good for the amount and how much better effort than Paramount has made. From Kevin's Trekkie. P.S. He said, I won't call in because my voice isn't worthy of being broadcast, nor is my face for that matter. That's something you and I have in common. Right. Maybe if I can find a talking GIF, I might consider it. Well, thank you for the email, number one. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then he did send me another email. Watch this one by Renegades. I think is a bit better given the chance. And it's a link. Maybe we'll post it in the show notes. I'll send you the link to another fan-made movie. So thank you for sending me that email. Appreciate it very much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right.
What's up, Chazbuz?
What's up?
How you doing?
He's telling us his thoughts on the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome to see it back in the day.
Yeah.
Because
did you like it back then? Or
yeah, I loved it. Okay. I was super excited. I was like, at first I was skeptical because I was like, they shouldn't reboot it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first thoughts. And I walked out of the movie theater just smiling. I was like, that was fun.
Okay.
It's like, that was actually a really fun movie, and there's hope for Star Trek.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went downhill from there. So
I do remember that uniform was a fairly popular Halloween costume.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only thing I didn't like about the movie was the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of that Enterprise.
You didn't like it?
It was like, it looked like the Apple Store, and I thought the engine room just looked like you just went out on location.
You didn't like the brewery for the engine room?
Well, you could tell it was like you went to a warehouse, went to a brewery, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look like an engine room.
Yeah.
It's like you guys were cheap and didn't want to make a set, so you're just like, hey, we're gonna make this engine room here. So
Yeah.
and then you're like, well, how big is this thing? Because if you're on a ship, you're in confined spaces.
Right.
I mean, real estate on a ship is worth a lot.
That set was huge.
Yes.
A lot of open spaces.
And you don't waste space on a ship. Everything has to be
right
precisely done.
They don't go, you need vaulted ceilings here.
Yeah.
For the aesthetic.
Right.
And that's my complaint about Strange New Worlds is the Enterprise is too big.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Pike's room's giant, has a kitchen, all this. And it's like, no, you would have smaller quarters.
Right.
Especially after coming off a cruise ship, because you see you see your cabin room and you pay a lot for your cabin room and it's tiny.
Yep.
It's tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And
all right.
I don't know. It's like, but besides that, the actors were great.
Yeah.
I thought Bones was my favorite character on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he did a great job. Oh, what's this actor's name?
Carl Urban.
Yeah, he's gonna be Johnny Cage.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
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 I was like,
It's weird not hearing him yell at Huey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
which now in my head that shows Boimler and Bones just fighting superheroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love the boys.
Yeah.
And well, it's funny because it looks so different in The Boys because he's the butcher and he's just a jerk,
Yeah.
It's kind of like who's really the bad guys? Is it The Boys or is it the other? Is it the butcher?
That's the whole point of The Boys.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
Yeah, but the other one, I mean, Boimler and the other guy he plays are kind of the same,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He plays the same character.
What does rewatching this, Scott, make you want a fourth Kelvin film or not?
I wanted one.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
And I know why. I mean, every time you say fourth Kelvin film, all I think about is Anton Yelchin.
Right.
Yeah.
And the tragic way that he died, the freak way that he died. And I don't think there's a great way to deal with that. Do you recast him? Do you say that he died? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they told their story. The Kelvin Timeline story has been told.
Right. Yeah.
So reference it, sure. Do maybe a slight crossover where one character, maybe, but no, I don't need a fourth film.
Will they be older if they remake or make another Kelvin than the Star Trek cast was when they first started?
Oh,
the show?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough time has passed. They're past their 5-year mission now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're almost. I mean, they're venturing into the motion picture territory.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting close to that when you think about it.
I think they're past. They might even be past the motion picture age-wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Chris Pine has got to be in his late 30s.
I think he's in his 40s.
He's our age. He's like 45, 46. So.
Well, then how old was William Shatner?
He's 44.
Okay.
44.
Well, how old was William Shatner in 1977?
He's born in 33 or something like that.
Let's see.
Math hurts.
In Star Trek: The Motion Picture, he was 48.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So
very close.
Pretty close.
So their motion picture age when you think about it. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then they can fight the Genesis device.
Yeah. I think you could do it right.
Mm-hmm.
But, one thing about Chekhov, like he wasn't even in the first season. So.
Right.
Of the series. And, he kind of had limited screen time. I know it's sad he passed, but you could still do the movie without Chekhov. In a way.
You could.
Oh, you could.
Yeah.
But it was
absolutely
like,
could.
So.
Yeah. But he is. I mean, he was such a
you could have
beloved
Tom
character.
Holland as Chekhov. So.
Yeah.
Like little.
And they introduced that one character in the third film, I forget her name.
Sela? Is it
The girl they meet on the planet.
With the black and white.
Yeah. I mean, there goes Chazbaz.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of her. She was cool.
Yeah, but I mean, she could fill that Chekhov role. Like, not the genius, but she was a good mechanic. And
yeah, that's
now
true.
he's back.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I made the mistake trying to Google on my phone, and when I did that, it
made you go
because I was looking for her name, and then I went.
I've had to actually get another phone, and so I can.
Nice.
Plus, I've got a tablet in case I need to. Yeah.
Well, usually I have my computer here. I have the cleaning lady in the house, so I had to.
Alejandro says you could do it with an older look-like person. I don't think so. Maybe like if he's just in the background of a scene, but.
Or they could, just have. I don't know. Would you want to talk to the family about it? You don't want to CGI it.
No.
But they could do something like, you start the movie out at his memorial service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you got Yeltsin's family's approval of that, say that he died valiantly saving the planet against, the vodka marauders or something,
I think you could do, like, just me spitballing here, right? You don't start with the whole crew. You start with maybe like Kirk and Spock, right? And it is Kirk's retirement or Kirk's, because it's been so much time, right? So Kirk is leaving the Enterprise. This is it, right? And so the two of them are just hanging out. It's a last trip, and they need to go somewhere for the big ceremony or something like that. And on their way, they get intercepted with a emergency distress from maybe Uhura, who's now serving on another ship because it's been so long, right? And so throughout the story, you're collecting members of the crew to fight whatever problem it is, right? So you give each character their moment to shine, but you're collecting them. And then you could even do like, we got to go get Chekhov. You could either he's over here and he's busy and we can't get a hold of him, or the ship that he's on gets attacked and maybe he perished.
Is this Picard season 3 now?
No, basically, yeah. But that kind of template,
you're picking
right?
Up you're picking up the crew.
Yeah, you're picking up the crew. You go fight the threat, and then you come back.
And then something happens. Boom, he dies. Sad part.
Yeah,
like you see Chekhov. Boom, ship blows up.
Yeah.
They're like stunned. Now they got to get their revenge.
Yeah. Like he comes on the screen for just a hot second. Boom, explodes.
Yeah.
Something along those.
I'm telling you, hashtag Daniel Reyes as a new Star Trek writer.
It's very just string together. You need more to it than that, but it's the framework. So,
Scott, you could write in the crying emotion scenes in the list.
That's right. All the crying.
Yes, please do that.
I wonder if they would add that in.
And then Dan can add all the rage.
I wonder.
And yelling.
I wonder because of Discovery if they would be like, okay, now we need to interject some crying.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. That's what the Star Trek needs, more crying. Yeah.
So since you're reviewing all the movies, will you review Section 31 now?
Ooh, no. God, no. We're not doing all the movies. We're doing the Kelvin ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just doing Kelvin.
Next week we're gonna do Star Trek, the regurgitation of Khan.
That's right.
Yes.
So
that's what I was thinking. They're old enough to do the Wrath of Khan almost, right?
I mean, they did it.
They did.
Yeah, but they already did it. So I was like, you do Wrath of Khan, but you could do it in the Kelvin timeline where
Khan again?
Where Chekhov dies with the earworm.
I would like to see a Kelvin say the whales. I would like to see a voyage home Kelvin. I think that would be hilarious. Set in 2025.
Chris Pine is hilarious, man.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised he hasn't been in more movies. I mean,
okay, if you're going to do the whales, you need to do a scene where they can actually communicate with the whales, and you get William Shatner to voice one of the whales.
Or Ellen DeGeneres. No, you get
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres doing the whale voice.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh,
Yes.
I'm Gracie.
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan or
I'm
whatever.
pregnant.
Right. And then Shatner's sitting there going, "Why are you talking like a moron? Just talk.
Being
Why are you
serious.
doing that?"
Oh, Grandpa's mad.
Yeah, Grandpa's just annoyed.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
shut
And
up.
I'm George, and I will help you with your plan.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go save your planet.
So he's not Kirk. He's just one of the whale voices.
This is one of the whale voices.
Hey,
I
Yes.
love it.
Well,
Perfect.
Yeah, so William
Sold.
Shatner and Ellen DeGeneres as
Yes.
George and Gracie.
Yes.
you know what cracks me up is like, what was the device that stopped the planet? That killed all the power in the planet.
Oh,
They
that
never-
was the probe.
Yeah, the probe.
Yeah.
It was like they never found out who brought the probe.
Nope.
Like nothing.
No.
It's like just vague. It's like there's some alien stops the planet, kills all the power, and everybody's gonna die if we don't save the whales.
Yeah.
Probe was sent by the founders
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
because they don't like going out and exploring themselves. They kind of have this history of sending their own out or whatever.
So, do the founders have whales swimming in
What
between
was
them
the
on
name
their
of that?
planet?
What was the name of those guys from Voyager? The first series of bad guys they meet.
The
Like
Kazon.
weird. Yeah, the Kazon.
So
It's
they're
them.
too stupid. They're too stupid to come up with
Yes.
anything like that.
Yes.
We can't
Yeah.
hear the whale sounds anymore.
Yeah.
Say the Kazon. Well, they dumped the Kazon, so they hated that storyline on Voyager.
Yeah. Those guys came and went real fast.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing the Voyager rewatch, and I'm like 2 or 3 episodes into season 4. So 7 of 9 just came on.
You just
Jennifer
nice.
Lean just left. So
Yeah, that was such a good season.
Yeah.
I listened to it with my boys Garrett and Robbie.
Nice.
Gary Robbie. You
Your
called
best
him by
friends.
his first name.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well,
if
feels
you
like-
ever met him in public, would you call him Robbie or would you call him Robert?
I just say, "What's up, Robbie?"
Robbie.
Hey guys, you know
Pat
me.
him
I'm
on the
Scott.
back.
Yeah, what's up, Arloke?
Yeah. Nice.
Arloke and G-Man.
All right. On that note, we should be wrapping it up because that's ridiculous. But
He
yeah,
does have chat in the basement, guys.
yeah. I'm about to go rescue him.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Ugh.
but yeah, guys, give us a call, leave us a voicemail, 570-661-0001. That's 570-661-0001. We're also on all the social medias. You can follow us there, and we will be back next week, I guess. Yeah, with Star Trek Into Darkness. It is streaming on Paramount and I think a few other streaming services. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.
See you later.
Thank you.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?